The Rise of Skywalker is frickin' bananas, man. It is Saturday, December 21st, and I saw Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker on December 20th, and let me just say, the casual Star Wars fan in me is satisfied. The hardcore Star Wars fan in me, that's a different story, man. Okay, so The Rise of Skywalker is the latest film in the Star Wars franchise. It's supposed to be the end of the Skywalker saga. It's supposed to wrap up everything from the new trilogy, the old trilogy, everything. It's supposed to wrap up everything Star Wars. And they're taking all of this and smushing it into one big, giant, steaming dumpster fire of a movie. It's not that. That's not what I meant. I meant, like, this movie is not terrible. It's by no means a terrible movie. It's just cluttered. I'm going to talk about The Rise of Skywalker, and this is not going to be a play-by-play of the whole movie, and this is going to be spoiler-filled. I will have a spoiler-free review, just a review. This is like a let's talk about The Rise of Skywalker. I'll have a spoiler-free review coming out probably later tonight or tomorrow. I'm filming these back-to-back. So basically, The Rise of Skywalker is fucking weird. So basically, this movie is a giant scavenger hunt between Rey and Kylo Ren, and they're both looking for this Sith artifact. It's not a Sith holocron. It's sort of acts like a Sith holocron, but it's not a holocron. It's not a holocron. It's something else. Anyway, I'm just going to talk about what I liked and disliked about the movie. I'm going to talk about some of the problems. I'm not really going to talk about... It's not really going to be like this happened. It's not going to be a play-by-play of the whole movie. That's what I just said. I'm just going to talk about what I didn't like and what I liked. What I didn't like was... Dude, the plot was weird. There really wasn't a plot. There wasn't really a driving force that leading to a climax. And it was just sort of a scavenger hunt, man. Rey was looking for this Sith holocron. I'm going to call it a Sith holocron, even though it's not. That's going to show her where this planet is, where Palpatine is, and that's basically all I can say about the plot. And one thing I didn't like in this movie is Palpatine. Palpatine was wasted as frick in this movie, man. Okay, so they explained that Palpatine has been the voice of everything. Like, he's been controlling Snoke, he's been controlling, like, Kylo Ren at some point. And Kylo Ren's like, shit, dude. And so he goes to kill Palpatine in the beginning. And then Palpatine does his old tricks and gets Kylo Ren on his side. But Kylo Ren secretly has his own agenda. And there's our bad guy plot. Palpatine was wasted as frick in this movie, man. He sort of just didn't really do anything. He sort of sat around for the part of it. You sort of forget about him for a lot of the movie. I sort of forgot about him. He sort of sits around, and then he becomes your stereotypical, as I like to call, Marvel villain at the end. He goes full Marvel villain. He creates a blue sky beam and whatnot, sort of out of Force lightning. And he just doesn't really do much. He sort of sits around and then just sort of shoots lightning at Rey, and then says that he's every Sith and she's every Jedi, and she like deflects his it's super weird, man. Palpatine was wasted. I want to talk about the third act. The third act is fucking bananas, man. So basically, they are going to fight Palpatine's new legion of like every single freaking Star Destroyer there ever was, and so they get every single freaking good guy ship there ever was, and it's just so... It's chaos, and you almost forget, like, what the heck happened. You're like, what? And you barely... I barely remember. I don't barely remember, but it's hard remembering what actually happened. I remember that Finn and... Jesus Christ. Naomi Aki's character were on the Star Destroyer, and then they're trying to blow up something. I kind of forget what it was. It's so cluttered. You really forget. It's like Endgame, kind of, but except Endgame was a little more organized. It was cluttered, but it was more organized. It was like so much packed into Avengers Endgame, and it was more organized. This is basically the Endgame of Star Wars. It was cluttered and not very organized. There were ships flying around and everybody's blowing up and stuff. It's just chaos. Alright. Luke Skywalker in this movie, man. Luke Skywalker comes back as a Force ghost, and this is what really frustrated me. I hate that they brought him back. I feel like his last moments should have been in The Last Jedi. It's called The Last Jedi, and I don't know why this is called The Rise of Skywalker. Literally, the only reason it's called The Rise of Skywalker is because Luke comes back, and that's fucking stupid, because Luke should have had his last moments in The Last Jedi, because that would have made it much more impactful. But no, you see him on Octu, and then you see him at the end on Tatooine, which is stupid. You see Rey, and I'll get on to Rey. Rey had so many problems in this movie. Rey, and then you see Leia and Luke's Force Ghosts, and this is the biggest bullshit of the movie. So Rey, we find out Rey is a grandchild or daughter or whatnot of Palpatine. So that means Palpatine won. That means Palpatine got together with someone and then had a child. What? That is terrible. That sucks. I don't know why. That just annoys me. I didn't like that. So we find out Rey's a Palpatine, and then she basically, it's basically the whole Luke versus Vader thing again. She has to destroy Palpatine, and she finds out that there is one scene that I really like, and I'll get down to that part in the part that I like. She says that she's every Jedi, and she deflects his lightning back at him. That was pretty cool. But later in the movie, at the very end, she goes to Tatooine, and this random person comes up to her, and the person goes, it's like I don't even know what it is. She goes, "Who are you?" And she goes, "I'm Rey." And she goes, "Rey who?" And she turns around, and she looks, and Luke's Force Ghost in there, and she goes, Luke's Force Ghost just looks at her. She's like, "Yeah, you know what to say." And she goes, "I'm Rey Skywalker." It's like, dude, just come on, man. Rey Skywalker, come on. That ruined it for me. I get why they called it The Rise of Skywalker, because Luke comes back, but also Rey rise. It is stupid. This movie is really not good. It's not bad, but it's not good. Those are the big problems that I had. Then there were some other problems, some characters like Rose and Poe, their story, their story arcs were never completed, and so it started, but it started going somewhere, but then it just dropped when the movie ended. So that was troubling for me. They even tried to trick us into thinking Chewie was dead, which was not good. It was almost offensive. They're like, "Oh, you think Chewie's gonna die?" I mean, of course we think Chewie's gonna die because they killed off Han, Luke, and Leia. Spoiler alert: Leia dies at the end of this movie. And I'm like, come on, dude, you're gonna kill off Chewbacca? Come on. But yeah, they've tricked us into thinking he's dead, which is kind of stupid and mean. The other thing, the whole C-3PO getting his memory wiped thing was kind of pointless, because within the next 20 minutes or so, he's back to normal. He's basically back to normal. He barely acts any different, so that was a really dumb decision. The pacing is also really slow at some points and really fast at some points. This movie, I felt like it was too long, but also too short, if you catch my drift, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's basically everything that I didn't like about the movie. Some stuff I liked about the movie was, oh wait, no, there's one more thing. Never mind. Reylo. Daisy Ridley said in an interview that Reylo would be addressed in this movie, and I thought she meant, it would just be addressed as in, oh, we know, but it's not gonna happen. No, fuck that, man. Reylo and, oh my god, this made me so mad. Daisy Ridley and Kylo Ren kiss at the end of this movie. There's this new force power, and Kylo Ren brings Daisy Ridley back to life, and then out of nowhere they just kiss, and that caught me off guard in the theater. I was laughing my ass off. Not laughing and that's so funny. Laughing as in that's the only other thing I can do apart from cry, because that made me so mad. Now on to the good things. So there weren't many good things I liked about this movie. All the actors did a really good job. Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, Oscar Isaac did a really good job. They were just good actors, man. But they're good actors aren't really useful when they're not given anything to do, if you know what I mean. And that was my main problem with the actors. They weren't given anything interesting to do. Yes, they were given some. My mom's watching a football game and she's screaming. They weren't given much to do. They were given some screaming and whatnot to do, but they weren't given any real emotion. Daisy Ridley was given big emotional she had to act. If you know, I don't even know how to say it. I'm really tired right now. But Oscar Isaac and Adam Driver to an extent were not given that much to do with their role. Kylo Ren was kind of wasted in this movie. But they're good actors. The special effects were good. This has some really cool visuals. I actually did like that. The scene where Rey says that she's every Jedi, and then all the voices you hear Hayden Christensen's voice, you hear Yoda, Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan, and you hear all the voices, and you hear Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan, and that's just a really cool scene. But apart from that, that's really all that I liked about this movie. This movie is kind of disappointing. It's definitely not the worst Star Wars movie. I'd place it somewhere under Solo and Rogue One, but somewhere above Attack of the Clones and, like, The Phantom Menace, because Attack of the Clones is by far the worst Star Wars movie, but it's definitely not the worst of the new trilogy. Like, the new trilogy goes Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker, then The Last Jedi. Last Jedi was hot garbage, but yeah. I'm not going to do a rating in this one, because I'm going to do that in my regular movie review. But yeah, that's really all I had. I'm sorry this is really quick. I just wanted to talk about The Rise of Skywalker. So yeah, thank you all for watching this video. Usually when I talk about movies, it doesn't really get that many views, but I don't care. I just like talking about movies and putting it out for you guys to hear. I mean, you guys judging by how many views this gets, nobody watches, like literally nobody watches my movie reviews, but I don't care. I just like doing them anyways. So yeah, if you are watching, thank you so much for watching. You are so nice to me. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have to say about The Rise of Skywalker. New figures are coming. I am reworking my Mandalorian figure because, I'm going to be honest, I lost my Mandalorian figure. I lost it. I lost my original one, so I'm resculpting it and I'm redoing another one. I'm working on some Spider-Man figures, and yeah, that's basically it. I will see you guys later. Bye.